This November, Maine voters will weigh in on whether Maine's current gun removal law is sufficient. Steve, what does question 2 ask voters?
So question 2 is what's known as an extreme risk protection order law, or ERPO. It's more commonly referred to as a red flag law. And what it does is it allows for the removal of firearms from somebody who's been deemed a danger to themselves or others.
So what is the difference between question 2 and Maine's current yellow flag law?
Under Maine's current law, a police officer is the only person that can initiate the process. Maine's current law has 2 extra steps that no other state has. One is that when the police officer initiates this process, he also has to take them into custody. And while they're in custody, they have to perform a mental health evaluation. Question 2 does not have those 2 extra steps. It also allows for family members to initiate the process in addition to police officers.
So why now?
So question 2 is a direct outgrowth of the legislature's response to the Lewiston mass shooting. Gun safety groups or gun control groups really wanted a red flag law. They felt like that was the most direct response to the mass shooting. And because they were unable to get that through in the legislature, they're now using Maine's referendum process.
So is Maine's current yellow flag law working? What does the data say?
So the law has been used 950 times since Lewiston. That's a 10-fold increase over how many times it was used prior to Lewiston, which was something like 80 times. So there's been an explosion in utilization of the law. Some of that may be attributable to tweaks made to the law as a result of the Lewiston mass shooting. And some of it may just be awareness by the police departments who are making greater use of this.
So do proponents of question 2, this red flag law, do they argue that if it had been in place before the Lewiston mass shooting, that it might have prevented it?
They do. They just make the case that allowing family members to start this process is just common sense. Other states do this, and they think that the current yellow flag law is basically a failed experiment where it's just too restrictive. It also is cumbersome for police departments to execute because of those extra steps. Opponents say that those extra steps are important because they're due process to somebody who might have their weapons confiscated. And they say that those extra steps protect gun rights and gun owners from having their weapons taken under false pretenses. There is a felony provision in question 2 that if somebody tries to do that, they could be prosecuted.
So what happens if voters say yes to question 2?
It doesn't repeal or replace Maine's current law. The red flag law would run alongside of the existing law. The question, though, is whether or not it makes the yellow flag law obsolete.
And if voters say no?
Then Maine's current law, the yellow flag law, remains on the books, and that's it.